Welcome everybody to the Tuesday 11 o'clock advanced class, and we are working in book 200 today, and we're going to be playing We've Only Just Begun. I know we've done this in other classes, um, but there might be some new different things. You never know, so you might want to stick it out, or you might just want to review. Um, Christmas books, if you need Christmas books, I know I just made the announcement, but please feel free to email me at 5028 at fletchermusic.com. Let me know which ones you need, or if you need some suggestions, I can give you some suggestions over the email, and I'll do an order at the end of the week. All right, somebody else in the waiting room. We're going to admit Mrs. iPhone. Okay. Yes, and I will continue to look at the screen. If you see me leaning forward like this, it's because I now have to admit people by hand. Zoom did take that coming in late feature away from us. So I will continually try to look, and yep, here comes Peg, another Peg. Let's get her admitted. Wow.
Will they correct that?
I have no idea. I don't know if Robert's been able to get a hold of them, and if that's a permanent feature that they took that away from us, or what it is. Normally, if there's a co-host, the co-host can watch and admit the people. But since I do this all by my lonesome.
No.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I was trying like heck to get in and I kept getting the wrong thing. So I tried.
No worries. I'll just continue looking and seeing if somebody comes in a little late. I just have to reach over and let them in by hand. And again, if you come in a little late, have a little bit of patience because if I'm looking at the music, I'm not looking at the screen, and I will eventually. I'm very aware of it now, so I will continue looking to see who comes in. Okay, so what do we know about We've Only Just Begun?
One needs to mute now.
Yep, if you guys want to mute yourselves, please feel free to mute yourselves. And here we go. A single by the Carpenters, written by Roger Nichols and Paul Williams, ranked number 414 on the Rolling Stones list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. The song was originally recorded by Smokey Roberts, a friend of Nichols, and it debuted in a wedding-themed TV commercial for the Crocker National Bank in California in 1970. So it was written for a commercial. And that's how a lot of these guys, Paul Williams included, made their money, was doing commercial jingles. What happened was Paul Williams was actually on the vocals for that commercial, and Richard Carpenter saw the commercial and said, hey, why don't we do this and release it as a single, because he and Williams were actually working for the same record company, so they were in the same offices all day long. So following their hit Close to You, We've Only Just Begun, excuse me, hit number 1 on the Cashbox Singles Chart and number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, right behind, okay, here's the two that beat them out. The Jackson 5's I'll Be There, what another great song. And here's a silly one. The Partridge Family's I Think I Love You. Okay, so those are the two that beat out this song in the year 1970 for the Billboard Hot 100. So that's what's going on with We've Only Just Begun. There is a couple of roadmaps things. Let's go over those right away. Page 1, at the end of the third line. Of course, the middle of the third line, you have that first ending. It goes in a bracket. And at the end of the first ending, you have 2 dots and a thin line and a thick line. If you want to take your highlighter and make a color on the dots, that's going to tell you to go back to the beginning of the song. So you want to take your highlighter and make the same color at the beginning of the song. Why? Because our eyes will actually recognize the colors before you can figure out what the symbols are actually meant to do. And if you read the lyrics, it'll take you exactly where you need to go. The second time, you're going to do verse 2. Verse 2, you're going to go to the middle of the third line, jump down to the second ending, which is in the fourth line, and it's an open bracket, so now you're going to continue playing. The bridge is at the top of page 159, and it goes all the way to the end of line 4. At the end of line 4, you have 2 thin lines and some instructions, and it says DC al coda. That means go back to the beginning of the song. So you might want to make this a different color and make another color over at the beginning of the song, because that means you're going back twice to the beginning of the song, and do verse 3. Verse 3 ends the same place verse 2 did, and there you see the 2 coda sign. You want to make that a different color. Remember, codas only send you forwards. So the coda goes to the coda, which is the last line on the next page. Make those 2 colors the same. And remember, codas only go forwards. Then the coda, we're going to write in 2 more repeat dots, because we are going to do a very typical 70s thing. We are going to repeat and fade. So what you want to do is we're going to cross out the last measure, and we're going to put repeat dots around those 2 measures in the middle. We've only just begun. And you can see where I've drawn in repeat dots, and if you want to put colors around those 2, go ahead. And we're going to repeat and fade. Repeat and fade. How do you fade out? You find the fade out button on your instrument, and it's in a different place on every instrument. Or you have it here where you have the start, stop, and the intro together. If you push the 2 of them together, it'll say fade underneath them if that's your feature. If you have a smaller instrument, you do not have that feature, you can still fade out. You have to take your foot and just bring it back on that gas pedal all the way back. And if you bring it all the way back and you're still hearing things, then you have to reach over to the master volume and just bring your master volume down until it gets to 0. And that's the way to fade out on the smaller instruments.
Dawn, where do you repeat 2? You said that last line, it would be after the B above begun.
The last
That's where you're.
repeat, just the
Oh,
last.
I see.
See those 2 measures?
Yeah.
Just those 2 measures. You're just going to
Oh,
repeat
I see.
just the 2 measures on the
So
last
only
line.
back to the rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. Got it.
Now, here's another question. What key is this song in?
G.
G, yes, not B. And
Right.
that B for that last note is just why they put that there doesn't make any sense to me, because that is not the key of the song. The key of the song is G. How do I know that? Because the D7s tell me. The D7s are the 5th grade of the scale, and it's G, A, B, C, D. The D7 goes back to the 1st grade of the scale, and that is my clue that the key is G, not B. Not B. That's the only B you see in the entire thing. So cross it out. We're not going to use it at all. Questions so far? Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Lots of extra chords, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Well, that's okay. You're going to like what these chords do. You're going to like the chords. This is going
I
to
know.
make the song come alive.
Right.
If I try to play it with the chords that were there, it would be so boring. You would say, oh, I don't know. I always like this song, and I don't like it with these chords. That's because they tried to keep it easy and easy play. Well, we're going to spice it up a little bit. So get your pencils out, sharpen them up, and let's go. The G is good for 1 measure. Make that C in the top line a C major 7. C, capital MHA 7. 2 fingers, C and B. And you can play it B and C if you want, and I won't see anything, so no worries. C and B or B and C. It's always the letter -1. That's how you make a major 7. Second line, make that B minor a B minor 7 if you wish. Now that 7 is optional. If you just want to play D and B, that would be fine. If you play the B minor 7, it is D, A, and B. The E minor, you might want to put a 7 on the E minor, which would make it E and G. The 7 is the D, so it would be D, E, G. Here's an optional chord. Over the F sharp, beat 3, you might want to put in an E minor 9. Oh boy, that's a 4-fingered chord. But if you're already playing E minor 7, all you have to do is add one more finger. The E minor 9 is D, E, F sharp, G. So if you're already playing the E minor 7, let me just get on easy here. Here's E minor. Here's the E minor 7. And here's the E minor 9. That really does add some nice spice, doesn't it? So if you're already on the E minor 7, you're just going to take your pointer and add the F sharp. Or not, because the F sharp also shows up in the right hand, so you're going to get that sound anyway. The A
Dawn,
minor.
you said D, E, F sharp, and what?
G.
G, okay.
Yep. Good
That
question.
over the E for lace.
Pardon?
F sharp.
No, it's over the F sharp for white.
Oh,
Beat 3 over the F sharp for white. Good question. A minor, you may want to make the A minor a 7, which would make it C, G, and A. Or you might want to make it an A minor 9, which is again a 4-fingered chord. And I like to play it with my pinky on C and then G, A, B. And I play those with 2 fingers, and I can just put my thumb on the crack of the A and the B and play it as an A minor 9. If you want to move your whole hand up and play G, A, B, C like that, you may, but then you have to look to get your hand back to position. All right, let's go to the next line. First measure, first beat over the F sharp. Put in an E minor, E and G, or an E minor 7, or an E minor 9. I told you this was an advanced class, so if you want to push yourself, go for it. If you don't want to push yourself, it's okay too. All
I'm
right,
sorry, Dawn.
Pardon.
Where does the E minor 9 go?
Third line, first measure, first beat over the
Oh.
F sharp.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The first ending, first measure of the first measure of the first ending, which is the second measure of the line. Over the B for on, put in an A minor, or an A minor 7, or an A minor 9. The chords are going to repeat a lot, so pick the ones you want to learn. And you only have to pick one. Be successful and just try one. The D can be a D7, or it can be a D sus, which is a suspended fourth. And your notes for that are D, E, A. No, I'm sorry. Let's change that. It's not D, E, A. That's an A sus. It's D, G, A. D, G, A. That's a D sus. And if you want to play the D7 sus, it would be C, D, G, A. I'm sorry I made you erase. D sus is D, G, A. It's a suspended fourth chord. And it kind of hangs there, and it leads you back to that G at the beginning of the song. Let's go to the second ending, line 4. Over the B for the word learn, A minor, C and A, or A minor 7, which is C, G, and A, or A minor 9, which is C, G, A, B. And you can play those in either with the C on the bottom or the C on top, doesn't matter. The next D can be a D7, or it can be a D sus, S-U-S, or it can be a D7 sus. So again, how hard do you want to push yourself with this? That's pretty much the question. And so you can keep adding one chord at a time when you're learning the song. Just say, today I'm going to learn an E minor 9, and let it go at that. Okay, now we are going into the bridge. Not quite. We're going into the, yeah, we're going to go into the bridge. The G at the end, make it a G major 7, which would be F sharp and G, the letter -1. That's good for 2 counts. Beat 3 of that measure, C major 7, which is C and B, or B and C, doesn't matter. Let's go to the top of the second page. The first measure, you're going to have 3 chords in that first measure, so write small. Over that whited in dotted half note, beat 1 G major 7, back to the F sharp G, and beat 3, which is right in the middle of the measure, C major 7, which is C and B, and over the quarter rest, beat 4 D, dinosaur, plain old D. Now this is where the bridge actually starts. And they've got you on 1 chord for 1.5 lines. Well, guess what? That ain't happening. The E is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the B 8th note for I, horizons. Put an A major 7. Oops, somebody slipped out of the room here. Okay. Okay, got you back in. So over the B for I, that's the third beat. A major 7, G sharp and A. The letter -1. Let's go to the second line. First measure, first beat over the G sharp. Plain old E, elephant. Beat 3, which is right after you play the G sharp dotted half note, A major 7. G sharp and A. We're just toggling back and forth between those 2 chords.
Yeah.
The next measure, same thing. First beat over the E for watch, E, elephant. Beat 3 over the B for the word signs, A major 7, G sharp and A. The next measure over the G sharp for way, over that whole note. You're going to have 2 chords in that measure. E major 7, which is D sharp and E. And beat 3 is A major 7, G sharp and A. Major 7s are easier to play than they are to write. Okay, now we're going into a different key center again. So line 3, the A flat is good for 2 counts. Beat 3 over the E flat for over. D flat, major 7. We don't play that one very often.
You say D or B?
D as in dinosaur.
Okay,
That's
D.
D as in dinosaur flat, major 7. And your 2 notes are C and D flat. So that one's going to be your pinky and your 4th finger. That's a little bit tricky to play.
Yeah.
The next measure, first beat over the C for the word 2, put in an A flat, alligator flat, and beat 3 right after you play the C dotted half note, D flat major 7. So you're just toggling back and forth between the A flat and the D flat major 7. We're going to do that again. The next line, line 4, measure 1. Over the E flat, put an A flat. We're just repeating the same 2 chords. Beat 3 over the E flat together, D flat major 7, C and D flat. Cross out the A minor chord and replace it with a D or a D7 or a D sus or a D sus7 if you wish. C, D, C, D, G, and A.
C, D, E.
C,
C, D, E, and A?
Nope, C, D, G, and A.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird one to play.
So what exactly is that? Is that a D7 sus?
That's a D7 sus, all 4 of the fingers. Yep.
Okay,
Try it and see what you think.
okay.
All right, the coda. First measure, first beat. Over the B for the word room, put an A minor or an A minor 7 or an A minor 9. C, G, A, B.
Dawn, could you repeat that, please?
Yes. C as in chicken, G as in gorilla, A as in alligator, and B as in butterfly.
No, I'm actually asking for the easiest. I couldn't even find the coda, so
Oh, okay. The coda is the last line.
yeah, I found it.
Okay. And it's an A minor or an A minor 7 or an A minor 9.
Okay, good.
And then the D can be a D or a D7 or a D sus or a D sus 7. Whichever one you like. You've had that one before. And the last G is a G major 7, which is F sharp and G. And then you're just going to go back to the D sus, back to the G major 7, back, and just repeat it as many times as you want. That we've only just begun, and fade it out. And the last measure, cross it out, throw it away, get rid of it completely. Questions about the chords?
Yes, Dawn, I have one.
There's a lot of them.
No, it's in the 4th line of the 2nd page.
Okay.
You changed the A minor to a D7 sus.
Correct.
What about D at the end?
The D
I have
at
a
the end,
D.
The D at the end just played D or D7. That doesn't.
So you just kept it the way it was.
Correct.
Okay.
The last
right.
measure of line 4 stays the same. It's a D7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Any other questions about the chords?
Nope.
If you learn one new chord, you are 100% successful. So don't feel like you have to put them all in. But if you don't want to do the major 7s, if you notice the bridge, it's going to be so boring if you just play it on an E for two lines and A flat for 2 lines. That's just boring. So if you wanted to just go back and forth between E and A, that would be okay. That would make it sound better. And then later if you wanted to play the A major 7, because you're just going back and forth between the 2 chords. If the D flat major 7 is too hard, on line 3, just go back and forth between A flat and D flat, A flat and D flat. If that makes it a little easier, that's the way to start. And then you can add those major 7s in later. But I think you're going to find that adding these extra chords is going to really add the spice to make the song pop. It's going to make it sound really pretty.
Dawn?
Okay. Yes.
I missed the 4th line of the 1st page and the 1st line of the 2nd because my
Okay.
computer went off. The last line on the page 1,
Right.
I got the A minor and then my cord pulled out and my computer went off. Is there
Okay.
anything else on that one?
Yes. The A minor can be an A minor 9.
Uh-huh.
And then the D can be a D7. Or it can be a D sus, which is D, G, and A. Or it can be a D7 sus, which is just adding the C. Then at the end of that line, the G can be a G major 7, F sharp and G, for 2 counts. And beat 3 is a C major 7, which is C and B. Now remember, if that's a little difficult, just do G and C. Just do the 1 finger, but back and forth, instead of the 2 fingered back and forth. Keep it easy to start. And at the top of the next page is a G major 7 for 2 counts, Beat 3 is a C major 7, same two chords, and then over the quarter rest is a D, so that leads into the bridge, which is Sharing Horizons. Anybody else? Yep.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I gotta figure out how to do this. I can't.
Okay, I just muted you, Suzanne. So if you needed to say something, I'll wait till your phone call's done, and then we'll get back to you. You can unmute yourself when you need to.
Dawn,
Yes?
second line, first page,
Yep.
second measure. What were
Second,
the chords in that measure?
there's actually just an E minor, but I changed it from an E minor. I added a 7 for 2 counts. And then on beat 3, I turned it into an E minor 9, which is completely optional. But if you're playing the E minor 7, it's D, E, G. And then to play the E minor 9, you're just going to add the F sharp. So 9s are actually kind of cool because they're 4 notes right in a row.
Okay, and how about on the first ending, third line?
First ending, A minor 7 or A minor 9 over the word on. And then the D can be a D7 or a D sus.
Here,
You're welcome. Anybody else get lost on that? There were a lot of chords today. I know we added a lot, so I want to make sure you have them.
Oh, the top of page 2, the first measure, I still didn't get that.
Okay. First measure on top of page 2, beat 1, G major 7 for 2 counts. Beat 3, which is right in the middle of the measure, C major 7. And then the 4th beat over the quarter rest is plain old D. So G, C, and D, and the G can be a major 7 and the C can be a major 7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You ready for some fingering?
Yep.
Okay, let's do it. All right, D1, E2. G can either be a 3 if you have long fingers, or if you have short fingers, you might want to make it a 1 with a circle and do a thumb tuck. Then the next G, same thing, whichever one is easier for you. And then the D is a 5, B3, C4, second line D5. At the end of that held D, check mark. F sharp 4, E3, D2, B1, A2 with a circle, that's a crossover. G1. Third line, F sharp 4, F sharp 4, G5, G5, E3, D2, B1, C can either be 2 or 3, and then the A is a 1. Next line, the second ending, B1, C can either be 2 or 3, A1, check mark. D1, E2, the G can be a 3 if you have long fingers, or make it a 1 and do a circle to tuck it under. Next G, same thing, 3 or 1. The D is a 5, B3. Top of the second page, second measure. E5, B3, G sharp 2, B3, C sharp 4, E1, A3. Second line, G sharp 2, F sharp 1, G sharp 2. Oh my, I just broke one of my own rules, didn't I? I usually tell you don't put that little thumb on a black key on the right hand, if at all possible. Sometimes when you have lots of black notes in a phrase, you have to. It's the only way it works. Let's keep going. The second measure, E5, B3, G sharp 2, B3, C sharp 4, E1, A3, G sharp 2. Third line, E flat 4, E flat 4, C2, E flat 4, F5, A flat 1, B flat 2, there we go again, putting a thumb on a black key, C3, B flat 2, and C3. You're going to learn your sharps and your flats just by doing those 3 lines. Yep. All right, the next line is the same. E flat 4, E flat 4, C2, E flat 4, F5, A flat 1, B flat 2, C3, G1, G1, A2. You might want to put a check mark at the end of that. You can stretch down. That works. You don't need to. All right, the coda, B1, C2 or 3, A1, check mark, D1, E2, G can either be 3 or 1 with a circle, the same as what you did at the beginning of the song. D5, B3, and repeat, and you're done. I just made this a hard song. Oh, Bill Coleman's coming in. Got somebody else in the waiting room. Hey, Bill, nice to have you join us. Okay.
Dawn, the last 2 measures there, you said the D was 1, E2, G3 or 1, G3 or 1, and then D, what's
5, D5, and
D5?
B3.
Okay.
Yep,
All right, I'm
D5,
sorry.
B3. No
Thank
worries.
you.
Anybody else get lost?
No.
Dawn, just the repeat dots, they go after the B or before the B?
Before
In
the
the s-
B. We're going to cross the B out and throw that whole last measure away.
No. You got the first, so you're only dealing with the first and second measure of the fourth, or the last line, correct?
No, you're dealing with the
No.
first, second,
Oops.
and third.
Right.
But you're only repeating the second and third. You see where I've got the dots?
I was wrong. I got it. Okay,
Got
now
it?
go back
Okay.
to, okay, got it.
Just going back 2 measures. We've only just begun. We've only just begun. Over and over again and just fade it out. Okay?
Got it.
All right. Now, what kind of rhythms work on this? The first thing you do is you go to your song setup. Song setup, the signature background is in most of your instruments, and it's called 70s love songs at 75 beats per minute. And you got to be very careful not to do your FX or your fill-ins on these first couple of long notes because it's designed for the bridge of the song. So you want to not do a fill-in on line 2. You might want to do one of these. You might want to do one of those wonderful virtuoso things there, but don't do the fill-in because you're going to go, oops, that doesn't sound right. When you get to the top of line 1 on the second page, right before you get to sharing horizons, you're going to add the alter style. Add the alter style.
After the rest?
But do it right in the rest if you can. Okay? Do it right in the rest if you can. If you can't, because you're playing chords, if it's too difficult to do that, you might have to reach over with your right hand while you're changing chords. And then get your hand ready to go again, because that alter style is going to be the very correct background for that song. Here's what I mean. Here is the song for the first part. Oops, let's get this all back together. The intro even is perfect. And I'm not going to play right now. I just want you to listen to the background. Okay. Now I am going to put in a little bit of a fill-in at the bottom of the page where we're going into the altar style. Here's what the altar style sounds like. And your fill-in sounds just like that. So if I'm playing this and go to the fill-in, it does the same thing. Okay? So that just takes you right into the altar style and gives you a chance to actually turn that on. Now, for those of you that don't have that background, what else did I do? Oh, by the way, you got to take the altar style off. Line 4, working together day to day. Before you get to that last together, take off your altar style. Take off your altar style and go back to just the nice, quiet background.
Dawn,
Yes?
what is the difference between the fill and the altar? I didn't hear a difference.
In this particular background, there is no difference. The fill and the altar style are the same. So, if you're on a fanfare and you're using a smooth guitarist, you're going to use the fill because you don't have an altar style on the fanfare. You're going to use the fill and just lean on it or put your foot on it, because on the fanfare, remember, you can put that on one of your long pedals. Just put your foot down on that fill and play it for that entire bridge.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Because, yes, you are correct. You could actually just keep your finger on the fill instead of going to the altar style, but then you got to still change all those chords, so that's not going to work too well either. So put it on the altar style and it'll make it better. Now, if you don't,
Dawn?
yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
So on the Freedom 3, again, I would just hold the fill with my foot for that whole, like,
On the Freedom
3
3,
lines?
you check with your backgrounds. Your smooth, any are going to work. Yeah, but I would do that. I would go to smooth guitarist, and then when you get to the bridge, just keep your foot against your fill for that entire, which is your right-hand kick switch, for that entire bridge, and see how that sounds. Now, you've got you do have some other things to do. Mellow, easy 8-beat works very well on the Freedom 3. Pop guitarist works. Mix pianist, which is your candelabra, believe it or not, works pretty well at 75. And keep your sounds at either flutes and strings, or your vocals are going to all be fabulous sounds, or a flute guitar combination. What else works? Contempo folk style. And I use the altar style with that. That works. And you can go back and forth between the altar style and a regular style, or just keep it on altar the whole way and use the fill. Love ballad. And I used preset number 8 on the love ballad and went to my lower keyboard, which gave me some real pretty flute duets. I always go for the presets first because your sounds are already done for you. That makes it easy. Okay, I'm going to play it on the song setup and see if you can follow along. And so let's hope I can get all my buttons pushed where they have to get pushed to. All right, G for the intro. You might want to make yourself a note.
Very pretty.
Yeah, the chords really add some spice to that. It does make it a harder song to play. It really does make it a challenge, but that's okay. It's a wonderful thing. Okay, let's see.
Dawn? So
Yes.
when you went back at the coda, you added vocal and what else?
Yeah, I just went to the lower keyboard. Yeah.
Okay,
Now you could have done that at the end of the first ending and done it for verse 2 right off the bat.
okay.
Okay.
What did you have with vocal?
The vocals just came up automatically, and they come up with as a scat vocal mixed with something else, and so it just gives it that real nice quality. I don't know what else is on there. It's a vocal wah and a scat swingle, and that's all going to the lower keyboard. So it's a combination of stuff.
Okay, thanks.
So you can go up and down for either at the end of verse 1. Now, I did make a mistake. I automatically just put my thumb on that touch bar at the end of the first ending, and guess what happened? It was all that bop right in the wrong place. And it's like, oop, that's what I did not want. So if you have to write a note to yourself, no FX. No FX in line 2 and no FX at the end of the first ending. You don't want that to spoil the surprise for all those wonderful trumpets that come in on the bottom of the page and for the whole bridge area.
Dawn,
Yes.
did you turn off rhythm presets?
No, I went to song setup on that.
Okay, so if you go to song setup, the rhythm presets stay off, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So if you go to song setup, your normal and your vintage and your
Right.
regular songs, your regular rhythm presets do not go on. It's giving
Right.
you the flutes on the top and the vocals on the bottom.
Okay.
So if you
Thank
wanted to go use some of your other presets, then you'd have to go to the regular rhythm preset, and
Right.
anything 1 through 10 will set that up.
Turn normal on. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Very
Dawn,
good. Yes, Ken.
Dawn, what did you, what rhythm did you use? I had to leave. I had a repairman here.
Oh,
but-
70s love song. Go to your song setup. Just go to your song setup. It's right there. Now, if you don't have song setup or you don't have 70s love song, I also did this in the contempo folk style. Oh, we're good on time. Good. And that everybody has either basic folk on the bigger instruments, or it's folk style with it's contempo with no variation. And rhythm preset 0 gives you a real pretty guitar and flute. But it changes the flavor a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I just want you to hear how this one sounds. Okay, so that works really nicely for that. That's still a pretty sound. The guitar and flute that come up on rhythm preset 0 for basic folk or contempo folk style. Very pretty on that, and it's also right around 75 to 78, wherever you want to put it. And then I also did this on Love Ballad. Love Ballad is a little bit different, and I used rhythm preset number 8 because the flutes are already on the bottom for me. And this again is a little different style. Notice I did not do the correct timing, or let's say just the timing that's written at the beginning of line 3. I changed it and did it the way I remember Karen singing it. I'm going to go back to the top. second ending. Whoops, that alter style does not work. If you use love song, you use love ballad, do not go to the alter style for the second part of the song because that came up with the Temptations. And so you really have to plot those out before you get started. So then you would just want to stay on the same thing and maybe just use a fill-in for the bridge part of it.
On.
So there's lots of things you got to watch. Yes, go ahead.
Point of clarification, since I don't have alter, I'm starting FX, the last line of the last measure of the first page. I'm going to stop the FX at the end of ultrasound. And where exactly is the end of ultrasound? The end of the third line?
The end of the alter style is actually in the middle of the fourth line, working together day to day. Then then stop your fill in and do together because you want that to kind of quiet down together.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
But again, you have to watch because some of your fill-ins are going to work nicely and some of them are going to be like, a disaster. So you really have to work to find the right background that's going to work for you. And the best background is ultimately, if you have it, the 70s love songs, which is the signature background for this song. The whole thing is exactly what this song is calling for. Now, for those of you who do not have a 70s love song,
see me after class.
See me after class. And we will get you all fixed up with that. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous song. I did just make it a challenge for you, but I think you're going to like what the extra chords do to make this song really pop and really come alive. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. And we will go to What a Wonderful World next week. And I know, for those of you that come to more than one of my classes, these songs do repeat. So my apologies. That's Hal Leonard. You have to write to Hal Leonard and complain that the same songs are in the same books over and over again. But that's okay.
Compared to what we used to do, right?
But Dawn, we don't have class next week.
Oh, you are correct. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. We'll do this 2 weeks from today. Yeah, next week, no class in the morning. You will come to the celebration of music on Zoom starting at 1 o'clock. So watch your emails. Robert will be sending you advertisements for that. And there will be special guests and there will be fun stuff and prizes to win and all kinds of good things to happen. So yeah, you don't want to miss that. So in lieu of the class next week, you will go to the celebration of music, watch for the link, and those workshops will be your class for that week. Any other questions?
Yeah, Dawn.
Yeah.
I missed I missed the second page of chords.
Okay.
Because the guy was here. Could I come in and use your book?
No, I will scan it to you, okay? I will scan it to you. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that just makes it easier. Yep.
Hey, Dawn.
Yes?
Since you started wearing the headset with your microphone, that works a lot better.
Boy, does it ever. I know. It does work a lot better because I don't have to keep putting the microphone in and taking it back out. Yep. I'm trying to do some new things because I'm trying to do the Monster Mash for next week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, but I want to do what what it does here in the organ, and it changes my voice to sound like a man. But I don't know how to get that from the organ into my 8-track and into the microphone. So I'm going to have to do some sound checking stuff, or I may have to toss the song. But the reason I want to do that is so that I want Robert to do all kinds of screenshots and get you guys to make your very best Halloween face in front of the camera. Yeah, I know. I get silly sometimes, but that's
all we have to do is look at the
That's what we do. Yeah, I feel like that every morning when I get up, right? Yeah. No, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put that one in or not, but I'm working on it, so we will see. Because that's just fun. That's just too much fun. Yeah. Yeah. So there's going to be some cool things happening, and so next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, watch for the ads. You will be getting them on your emails for the Celebration of Music Tuesday and Wednesday edition. All right?
Mhm.
Following week is then going to be What a Wonderful World.
Correct. That'll be 2 weeks from today. Yes. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
You're a sweetheart.
I will see you guys. Some of you I will see later on today. Some of you I will see tomorrow. Some of you I will see 2 weeks from today. Hopefully I will see all of you next week, Tuesday, on our Celebration of Music. Watch for the ads. Okay.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Dawn.
Class.
Keep feeling
Thanks for all your efforts, Dawn.
Thank you. Thank
We
you.
do appreciate you.
It's a labor of love. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Pam. Bye, Pam.